Okay, are we about ready? We ready to get started with somebody? You're just finishing? She's writing. Are you ready?
I'm just calculating my profit.
Ah, good, good. While we're doing that, I want to share with you a couple of things that, a couple of itinerary presentations that, and some of you, I didn't see everyone all that everybody had, but I thought this was a nice example, a couple of nice examples of proposals. Right. So this is, this is printed from Axis, and that's Axis as well. But here's a little twist. Here's a little twist that Valerie added to it, making it into a little booklet as opposed to clipping it up here. And this is, Valerie, what is the name of this kind of little stapler? It's a publisher stapler?
Publishing stapler, yeah. And
Publishing
it's on tabloid
stapler.
paper, and it's compostable. So,
Okay.
like if you use the rings, if there's plastic, so this you can just throw in the compost.
Okay, wait, I don't understand. It's a particular app that we use to.
This is from Axis. So she print,
I get that.
Setting.
right.
And it will print that way?
Well, on your printer. Yes.
Okay.
So we buy little booklets?
Okay. It's called tablet.
Tabloid.
Tabloid.
It's 11 by 17. That's the size of the paper. 11 by
Right.
17 is considered
Oh, and it
tabloid.
just does it, oh, and then you fold it up.
Right. But then she has a special stapler that is called a publisher's stapler, right? Publishing stapler that can reach all the way across here and give you your center thing. So I thought this was really beautifully done, and again, coming right out of, and compostable.
Yes, well, you know.
Absolutely, right? And I suggested to her that she put a little notification on there that in fact it is recyclable and compostable. And then this one also from Jody here. And this is what you do for all of your clients or for your FIT clients.
Mainly my FIT clients.
Okay. So this is John and Jane's rendezvous in Paris with Luxe and Chic Travel, and just has a beautiful presentation. Again, this is just a proposal, but this is awfully enticing, and and here's her rate quotation here at the back, total and what it includes and what it does not include as well. You do this on your own, okay? All right. So you've got a format all set up.
I do use UMAP as well.
You use UMAP, okay? Okay, we got some things to look at. So let's listen up to. Let's go back here to Santra here, and hear what she's got to say. So everybody, could you pay attention? All right? Let's pay attention.
So I found this a challenge. I felt like there was enough space to write everything down. So I have a particular style and I'm very detail oriented. So I put together an entire agenda. So I'm going to kind of go through my agenda, but then here's the breakdown of it. So and this is how I operate all the time. So I've got the weather on here so they know how to pack, and then they've got the car picking them up, confirmation of a phone number, flight information, and then I worked through the hotel. They gave a free transportation from the airport to the hotel. And the driver will pick them up in baggage claim. I've got the telephone number for the driver as well too. We're staying at the Park Hyatt Paris Vendôme, and I picked that because it's location, 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 and also it's got a gym. So that covers their needs. That is right there. That's the total cost.
What?
And
Could you read
that
that?
is-
I can't see that from here.
5,746.
5,967, 63, and 10% commission.
What dates, yeah.
Oh, so I picked shoulder because I thought that you'd get a better value. And as I go through, you'll understand why as well too. So it's April 25th through May 3rd. So because of travel and jet lag and all that, I always leave the afternoon open to do whatever you wanted to do. Then I looked around the neighborhood and I found a really great restaurant run by a 2-star Michelin chef within walking distance. So I made reservations for 7:30 because I figured they are landing at 11:15, so that gives them enough time to get to the airport, get calmed down, get ready, and then walk to dinner. And I've given them walking directions attached as well too. Then I gave them time in the morning to work out at the fitness center and have breakfast. Then they have an 11 a.m. half-day walking tour, Paris World War II sites. And then I've got a description of what they're going to see during that. Pierre will meet them in the lobby. I gave him Pierre's phone number. That is the cost right there. That's my profit.
That's
then I have-
440.
Yeah. 400, my profit is 40. Left the afternoon open to explore, and dinner is open on their own, so they can be flexible. Next day's breakfast at 7, and then they've got a Gaverny half-day tour with a licensed guide and driver. You need a licensed guide to be able to get in there. Okay. Then that's visiting Claude Monet's home. So what I did then is I went online to find out what flowers were in bloom to let them know during that time what they would be seeing. So it's tulips, pansies, forget-me-nots. They'll also see the iris in bloom as well too. So then they return to about 1, and then I've got a couples massage for them scheduled right here, but I don't get any commission on that. And then they've got dinner reservations in the hotel. Within the hotel, they've got a 1 Michelin star and 4 Toque restaurant, and then this is a description of the restaurant and the chef as well too. And then in the morning, they can either go for a run and work out the next day. And I've got a half-day walking tour of Paris behind the scenes, 400 profit. And then I've got a description. And so this is no preset itinerary, so you speak with your guide and go see non-touristy areas of the city and see things the way the Parisians see it. So I've got the contact name and the phone number. And then as the tour concludes, they'll ask the guide for lunch and dinner recommendations. Then they're open on Thursday, and they have a bike tour of Paris, right there. And then it's a description of what they will see while they're riding, and then they have an open afternoon and dinner, because they're probably tired from riding their bikes. Then the next day they have breakfast, and they do an all-day farm-to-table tour, and they have someone pick them up in the lobby, and then there's a whole description of how they're going to do the farmers markets, and there's a food expert that goes with them, and then the guide will give them lunch recommendations that promotes local products. And that runs from 9 until 6, and then they're open for dinner, and then Saturday I've left completely open, so they can do whatever shopping or wrap up and whatever they want to do and pack. And then I looked in the neighborhood and found another restaurant within walking distance that is nice, and I gave them walking directions. And then the next day, car picks them up and they fly home.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Okay. So what did this come to?
$846. So
In profit, in your revenues, right?
That's my revenues.
Okay.
So I had to ask my ladies what the costs were, because that's what I struggled was defining costs of things. So, yeah.
Okay.
We could
Okay.
certainly do the math and figure it out though.
Okay. Okay. So probably that came into somewhere kind of right at 10,000, or a little bit less than that.
Less.
A little bit less.
Yeah.
Okay. By moving to the shoulder season, which helps you out. didn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. How about you guys back here? What did you guys come up with? Mélène, talk to us about Paris.
You're shocking that she won, right?
I would hope so.
So I booked the Raffles Hotel Royal Monceau because the lady was into art, and it's a hotel that has work of art everywhere, like in the rooms, in the lobby. So I thought it was a good fit. It's perfectly located. And also they had a promotion, the third night free, which made the fare very interesting. So I booked this hotel for the whole stay except the last night, but this on the Thursday. So I booked the skip the line ticket for the Louvre Museum with the guide, so half day. Then the second day, do we need to give the restaurant?
So you don't need to name them, but yeah.
So what dates did you say you were going on this? Thursday.
What days of the year? What month?
Oh, it's just, I guess the dates are the same for, oh no, okay. December 1st through the 8th. I thought we had a set date, sorry. And then second day, it's a tour of Paris and Versailles, full day with a driver and a guide. Third day, it's a spa for Mrs. at the Hotel Mandarin Oriental for a half day, and it's a 4-hour tour, walking tour of World War II sites for Mr. And then the fourth day, it's a cooking class with Chef Alain Ducasse and private market. It's a full day tour. And then fifth day is the Christmas light at Vaux-le-Vicomte tour, which is a half day tour since it's in December to see the Christmas lights. And then the day after we have an electric bike tour in Champagne and tasting of the champagne. But this is a full day tour as well. And then, so they check out of the hotel, they go to the Auberge du Jeu de Pommes, which is in Chantilly, just right next to the castle. And they visit the castle the next day, and they stay in this beautiful hotel located not far from the Charles de Gaulle airport, so that the next day they can be quickly transferred to the airport.
Right, you said it's like 15-minute drive to the airport
Yes.
from this beautiful little hotel. Yeah, wonderful, good. And what did yours come in at?
So the cost or the profit?
Both.
So cost is 9,847, and the profit is 1,332.
Okay, all right.
I think moving forward, I think everyone should have to do that with a French accent.
At least get that, the wonderful pronunciation correctly.
I'll get that.
Okay. So now on to Heather.
Follow that.
So, I did charge a planning fee, which is part of my profit.
Oh.
All right, very good.
So, I also chose the Park Hyatt Vendome. We're going in April from, I believe it was April 4th to the 11th. I chose the Park Hyatt because it had the 4th night free, and it also offered a VIP meet and greet at the airport, including a one-way airport transfer. So I put that in there, and I have been staying here the whole time. Cost for that was $7,483.88, profit $740. I did give them a day of leisure. Personally, I like to take the day and just kind of relax. That way they can do their fitness. They could, pick and choose what they want to do for that day, whether they want to go to the spa. I didn't include spa services in my actual proposal because, it's a suggestion.
Right.
Quite sure. I did recommend the Sen Michelin Star Restaurant, which is located in the hotel for the first or second night, whenever they wanted to go. Second day would be a 5 to 6 hour tour of the Monet House in Burns and Virginia, including transportation. Cost $704, profit $84.48. Next day, Paris photo shoot with a professional photographer where they follow them around the city, all the sites. They don't have to worry about taking pictures. They can do that. They get everything on digital.
And who's the company who does that?
It was through Viator. But they also offer it on Virtuoso.
Right.
Photographer.
Photographer, yeah. So
Virtuoso.
I got the price from
Yeah.
Viator, but I paid more
Okay.
for Virtuoso.
Great.
And then for the afternoon, I suggested Set Time, which is a more casual vibe. They wanted a couple different types of restaurants, so that's why I recommend that one. Wednesday is going to be their long day. It's a 12-hour full day trip with lunch and transportation to Normandy, the American Cemetery, and the whole deal.
Right.
497.56, 59.70. Thursday, AM at leisure again. I like to build in leisure time because you don't really know how busy they want to be, and I figure at the proposal stage, if they want to do something else, we could add in like bike ride or something like that. That's kind of my thought process.
Mm-hmm.
For the afternoon, I have a cheese and wine tour in the Latin Quarter, because I thought it would be a little different, probably something that they haven't done since they've already been to Paris, kind of give them new ideas. $99.96, $11.99, and then
I did some research on what's new and fun in Paris. They have a brand new urban winery in the Eiffel Tower, located on the first floor, just opened a month ago. Thought that would be kind of fun. The only cost would be the cost of going up into the Eiffel Tower. I of course did the skip the line, tickets, the 136, 1632 profit, and then an evening dinner cruise on the side, the real nice romantic kind of thing to help them with Mexicans, since that was why they wanted to go. 465.76 and 55.89, and then a private transfer to the airport that they would have to actually pay for because it was only the one-way transfer that was offered for 150. So total 10,082.53 with a profit of 1,269.29, including the penny.
Okay.
Very good.
I do love Paris.
Yes, yeah, I can tell you about Paris. I can tell you about Paris. How about over here? Oh, look at this. They incorporated the sticky notes.
So I have to say that we took a little bit of a different approach in this itinerary because quite frankly, we all loved everybody's itinerary and we could not make a decision. So what we decided to do as a group in being very collaborative in our travel planning
Right?
is we decided to all offer up what we thought the best experiences would be from our individual itineraries.
Okay.
And that's what this itinerary is. So each of us is going to speak to our portion of the itinerary.
Okay.
I'll start first because the hotel is the one I chose. So I chose the Sofitel party, and the reason I chose that was because first they had a really great promotion, so they get to have a collection suite, 4-night free, all the amenities, and the price was amazing. So my main reason is they have a really great gym. They also had, they could hire a coach if they wanted for the day to, do anything extra for their gym activities. And my favorite part was it was really near some jogging trails with gardens, and I figured what a great way to wake up in Paris and take a jog before starting your day. My rate does include VIP meet and greet, round trip transfers, and that's by the Uber, and I am sorry if I am pronouncing that wrong. And then that night, that day that they get in, I have them do in the evening just to get them acclimated to Paris. It's a wine and cheese tasting in an art gallery in a hip Parisian neighborhood, so they get transportation in. They get to mingle with the locals and have a few wines and cheese right before dinner. Next day.
Could you tell us how much was the hotel?
The hotels have got it for $42.38 in April of next year, 25th, for the whole 7 nights.
Wow.
And that doesn't
Wow.
include my transfers.
That's a good price, yeah.
And the wine and cheese tasting is $54, believe it or not. It was a really good rate. We eat with, so we're all.
Love them.
Yeah. Next day we're doing Normandy, and I decided to do, it's called the Willis, give me 1 second. Oh, sorry.
We did say, yeah, so that same day, they get in, they're gonna go to Luxembourg Gardens, at their leisure, and it's $100, and they could walk around and have a tour of the gardens, which is kind of close to the hotel, so they can walk there.
And for Normandy, because he is an avid, World War II history buff, I thought I like immersive activities. I really do. So I thought a private was Jeep. It's called the Band of Brothers Tour. So they get into these cute little Jeeps. I know, I'm sorry if you guys can't see it. And they get to experience what happened on that night with a private guy that's been doing this for over 30 years, and he was in and out. And they go on these Jeeps and they go to different sites, and they get to experience, the weapons and everything that they went through. So I thought it would be a cool, different way to experience Normandy. And then,
And how much was that tour?
Oh, okay. So because the description said that they wanted to do some of the sites tours, but they didn't do anything in the standard, typical way. If they're going to see something, they really wanted to go and see it in a unique, interesting way. And so because he's an avid World War II buff, I selected a hot air balloon ride over Normandy. Because how often do you get an aerial shot of anything that you ever really experience? And because they're fitness buffs and they're very healthy and they want to try new things and adventure, what more excitement could it be than a hot air balloon ride? I think that you'll never forget. So it's a whole new perspective how to see something that is really intriguing, but it meets their needs because they want to do it in a different, interesting way.
Beautiful, great idea.
And that day would be, the total cost was $626 between the tours, and mine included the rails round trip from
So you went
Paris.
out by train?
Yeah, they went
Yeah.
by rail for the last day.
Good.
So the next day, then they do a food tour of the left bank. That they're gonna do, and then what's the other one?
Lido.
Oh, and then, so they'll have free time, because we wanted them to have some free time, so if they wanna go shopping, or also a suggestion is the Louis Vuitton Museum, it's a new museum out in Paris, but we can't buy tickets for them for it, so we would suggest that, and then they do the food tour for lunch, and then they do and then go to Montmartre area, and then do the Lido show part in the evening, not the dinner, but the show, the cabaret show.
Great.
And that came in at $435, and it was a $43.
Got it. Okay.
And then on day 5, they get up early in the morning and do a running discovery tour of Paris. So they have a guide, a private guide that's gonna take a jog with them and run around and let them know all about Paris and kind of look at it in a different angle.
And then they have some free time, and then they have dinner.
So I wanted to select an amazing dinner for them, so the description said that they both love something that's really a fine dining experience, but they also love casual. And if you're in Paris, the most amazing experience that I have had is dining at Les Jules Verne. And the service is incredible, the food is amazing. It's like no other view in the world. It's just one of the most incredible experiences in your life. And because it is so expensive, it's not something that you do all the time. And because you're not in Paris, you don't do it all the time. So I figured for a truly memorable experience, dining at Les Jules Verne.
In the Eiffel Tower.
How much is it?
Right, right, good.
How much-
How much does that cost?
It costs for my husband and I $600,
Okay.
and that's
All
with
right.
the opportunity.
So $769 between the running
Okay.
tour and that dinner.
Great, okay. And then,
That was me.
That's you.
Yeah, so then I thought because they were very active, they could do a bike tour around Paris.
okay,
To get up in the morning and, have breakfast and then do a bike tour. Instead of working out in the gym, like you said, go running, do a bike tour.
super.
And then because Musée d'Orsay just underwent a big renovation, and so they do a private tour of the Musée d'Orsay. Because that might be different than what she saw before.
Right.
Right, and that's where we felt that she would gather some inspiration because she'll end the day doing an art workshop. It's called In the Foots of the Impressionists. So she'll be able to, with a professor, sit down and put an impressionist work of art of her own for her and her husband. So it's an immersive way of sitting there and doing something a little bit different.
Cool.
So, and that was $1,365 for the day. And day 7, I thought they had the morning at leisure to relax and kind of enjoy Paris on their own. And for lunch, we thought it would be a cool idea to have a cooking class, a souffle cooking class. So we added that there. I'm so sorry we broke this apart. So, yeah, so they basically get to learn the secrets of the famous cheese souffle, and they'll have a typical Bressier lunch. I can't pronounce the name. Thank you. In Champagne in a Parisian home with the chef. And again, eat with. They're awesome. So.
And then we also did the photography tour as well, taking their photo shoots around Paris so they could reconnect, and that was around $300.
And then on the final day, in the afternoon, they're going to see Paris by private luxury yacht with champagne. And they're going to do that tour with a local scholar who's going to talk to them about the history of Paris and what they're seeing from the river versus seeing, walking or in that context. Yes. And the cost of that tour was $1,784. So we came in at $9,607, and we added a planning fee, and so our total is $1,460 commission and planning fee.
Okay, so coming in right at around 14%. for your overall. Yeah, great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
What, what hotel did you have?
The Sofitel.
Okay, and you had,
Park Hyatt, Vendome.
okay,
And you had Raffles, and you
Raffles.
had the Park Hyatt. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So you may not have seen this, but there's an article that comes out every November, and it's called Upgrade at the Time of Booking. And it lists all properties that guarantee the upgrade at the time of booking. So if you had have known you actually could have upgraded for the Paris Vendome, upgrade at the time of booking is guaranteed according to the article. So you would have been able, what's that? No, but it's every year that it comes out, so it extends for a 12-month period. So, right, so that article talks about, for the next 12 months. It's on virtuoso.com. I'll show you on Thursday when we go through and look at resources. Right, so it lists all properties that have a contract that say, when you book, we will guarantee the upgrade at the time of booking. So it's not, if it's available, it's guaranteed. Now, out of 1,400 or so properties, there's only about 82 that guarantee this, but 10 of them are in Paris. Okay? So it's worth looking at that to see if that's something, because you could have not only added that, wow, look what I've gotten you by having this contact with a virtuoso. So anyway.
Yeah, interesting. And I I overheard it was you, Stephanie. You took a totally different approach. How did you approach this? Thought it was interesting.
Right. Well, the approach that I took, because I wasn't sure after 4 weeks in how to find tour pricing on Virtuoso,
Yeah.
even though I came up with different itinerary, I then said, you know what, they've been there so many times and they want something different. I looked at a 8-day cruise out of Paris that covered Normandy on Uniworld. And I looked at it just, it said March 22nd, it covered 8 days Paris to Paris. You can always add individual excursions. The lowest price was per person was $29.99, went to $38.99 or $44.99. But assuming that you did the $4,499 per person, all inclusive, with 18% commission and then a $200 fee, I figured my commission was about $2,000. So I just got more creative and I said, I couldn't find the solution, but if I was going to say you've been there before.
So the rookie maybe made the most money.
In the traditional.
Hey, it was 8 days in Paris. They want to go to Normandy. They want.
And the itinerary had a lot of different art on it, and then there was opportunities to do. If I went to the $38.99, then I can do individual tour excursion or add-ons at the end. So.
You're right in the mold of Anne Scully.
Is it now come up with another answer? I think outside the paradigm, is that?
Yes, absolutely. She did in my podcast. I interviewed her, and we were talking about exactly that, kind of doing an itinerary in Italy, and then she made the argument that you can do it this way, you can do it this way, or you can do it by a cruise.
Right. I have to give credit to Amanda, because that's when I got struggled, and then she also said, think about backroads. So I've also priced a backroads tour. So she gave me some inspiration and direction to look at it, and I really enjoyed the exercise in delivering something different. So.
So all of you have had some really creative ideas, some wonderful ideas, and some tours and so on I've never even heard of, and all the research that people have come up with, and how to maximize shoulder seasons, off seasons, and things like that. Gosh, you had an unbelievable, $4,000 for 8 nights at the hotel. That was, and in a, was it a suite?
A collection suite.
A collection suite, yeah. So, you kind of search around a little bit and you see kind of what's possible, and offering maybe something that's like, I know this might be right, off the wall, but what if something like that, or a backroads biking trip, or who knows, different kinds of things that are out there. So you never know. We can certainly give them what they asked for, but we can also offer them something they never even thought of. So all of you did a really great job, I think, in all of that. And I know we only looked at 4 itineraries, or kind of a combination over here of itineraries. So you've got a lot of really good ones. If you want to share them around with each other and let people look at them, we'll certainly have put these up so that you can see, and you can see the pricing and so on. But keep that price in mind. You know, when it comes to, you know, there's a lot of 10% here, and that's not going to cut it ultimately.
We hired on-site.
Yeah.
If you hired an on-site to do it all,
Right, and
right.
not just that, like if your company has partnerships with some of these
Right.
hotels, some of the hotels will be offering 15%.
Exactly.
at times.
Exactly. So that's something else, you know, find out, when it comes to your partners out there, find out who the preferred partners are with your organization, your agency. Because I might get 10% at the Sofitel, but because of the volume that you guys do, or a special contract that you have, you may have, like you say, 15%. So find out where, and all things being equal, well, you know, that can work as well. So be sure and spend some time with your agencies to know where the preferreds are for your organization as well. Yeah, good. And use your organization to come up with some good ideas. Okay, fun. Did you enjoy doing that as homework?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a great one. And you did a nice job also on the actual presentation of things. So one of the things that we talked that we would do is start putting some language around some of these kind of difficult conversations. And one of those difficult conversations that came up this morning was, well, how could I possibly not only charge for my services, but honestly, what kind of value do I bring at this point in time? I'm only 6 weeks into it, or 6 months into it, or even a year into it. So our next exercise, and this is going to be one that you're going to do primarily on your own, and then we'll do some sharing here, but is around the question of, why should I work with you? So you're sitting next to somebody on the airplane, and you're going, oh my God, I just got back from BCTA, blah, 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 you know, and I'm so wonderful, and I'm so this, and I'm so excited, and all the rest of it. And, you know, and I'm this fresh new, you know, travel advisor, and that person sitting next to you in first class says, well, that's wonderful. Tell me, why should I work with you? And so what is some of the language that we might want to think about? What are some of the things that sort of fall into that category of, you're new to the business. Why would I work with you? What are some, let's do some brainstorming here, because that's where we're going to go with this. Debbie?
I have a network with preferred suppliers.
Okay.
Valuable relationships.
Network. Relationships. Absolutely. You know, that span the globe from, you know, around the world.
Experts on the ground.
Experts on the ground.
Level of service.
What's that?
Level of service.
The level of service? Okay. So what kind of level of service? What do you mean?
Just, gosh, let's see, good question. Just so that you have such an amazing level of service that I'm there for you 24/7.
Okay. Okay.
Everything is effortless, seamless, no worries on your end at all. You just get to go and enjoy, and I take care of everything.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to, yeah, kind of top level of customer service or something.
And save you time and money.
Okay. I save you time and money.
Creating a customized itinerary tailored to your specific needs.
Okay. Customized and tailored.
A lot of
to specific needs. Say that again?
A lot of personal experience.
Okay, your own personal experience. Okay.
I can get you additional amenities.
Okay. So those,
VIP treatment.
yeah, that sort of VIP treatment. I want to go back to this amenities. Amenities is sometimes a word that people don't really understand. The added value or enhancements or perks and privileges or something like that. Yeah.
Perks and privileges that make you feel like a VIP.
Right.
Financially stable partners.
Yes. Okay. So we're working with vetted. Right. Vetted partners. Right. Why else would I?
Experiences to maximize your vacation time.
Okay.
Waiting in lines or.
Right. So maximize. That's so maximizing our time here. Your valuable time. Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know how to say this in the most positive way, but should things go wrong, and in life they do, I will be there to make this less stressful for you and your family
Mm-hmm.
and navigate a difficult situation.
Right. Okay. I got your back.
All right?
Yeah.
That's a better way to say it.
That's one way to put it. Yeah. Yeah. Got your back.
Yeah, so one of the things that you said that or somebody said that was, I thought, very interesting, if you're sitting in first class and that's a fellow passenger, you might want to emphasize that the network that you have is most valuable only with people that like very high-end travel.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it may be that your reach and connections are at the highest, at the highest level of.
Well, you have the most. I thought that was very interesting because that's how so many brands, they're associated with very high-end things, and people like those brands for that reason.
Right. Okay.
So you want to imply that your brand has the most value with people like yourself that fly first class. That kind of thing.
Unless I got Yeah. Yeah. Points. Are you on points or did you pay for this? Yeah.
I would include helping clients weed through the humongous plethora of options.
Yes. Okay. So curate all those options.
Find the most specific, best option for that.
Right.
client. And
That's right. There's this overload.
And we might use a word there, filter, because
Right.
that really gives a sense of large and narrowing down. to
Right.
something that's manageable.
Right.
Or even working with suppliers that don't sell directly to non-travel advisors. There are experiences I can provide that you can't find.
Right.
or buy.
Experiences that aren't available to others. Yeah. Um,
I like to say the word of exclusivity.
Yeah.
Negotiate their travel benefits or
How to phrase that?
if they're working with 4 and 5-star suppliers that have more negotiating power.
Okay. Through your partnership with Virtuoso or your agency, that you've been able to negotiate, extraordinary value for, some of the most luxurious properties and experiences in the world. So you have in fact negotiated on their behalf. So you want to think about what's important for them on their behalf. What if they do ask you that question? Have you been there?
No, but I have a team behind me that.
Okay, right.
Experts in their field.
Right, I got that. I got a team,
Or I've sent a lot of clients.
right? I've sent a lot of clients there, or we have.
My bucket list.
It's on my bucket list too. Oh my God, do I want to go there too. You know?
And I have some experts that can help.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm not sure how we'd put that, but you get the idea.
Kind of one-stop shopping, so I don't have to
Yeah.
be an expert in everything. You can just go to me and I can tap all my resources for you.
Right. I also also want to get to something that I mentioned the other day, and that is the experiences that you have already had in life. Not all of you have, many of you have traveled quite a lot, you know, so you have personal travel experience. But you've not necessarily had a lot of experience in professional travel advising, okay? So I want you to also think about the value that you bring. I know I always go back to Centra here because I think it's such a great example of, you know, I spent the last 30 years as the executive assistant to some of the top, you know, top executives in the Fortune 100 or whatever it is, companies. I get it, what people need when it comes to organizing busy lives, which is why I've chosen this as my career going forward. That says volumes about you. I don't care if you've never been out of Topeka, okay? You know, it says a lot about your background. Who's my anthropologist? Yeah. Yeah. But you know, think about your degrees that you took. You know, the things that you studied. The fact that, you know, your own travels started when you were, you know, a student studying abroad. You know, which may be something that connects them. Think about your, it may be, you know, you spent the last 20 years organizing a crazy household, you know, of kids and raising them and teaching you how to organize at the max. Don't be afraid to tap into that as well. That's a really important thing that may be part of that conversation. So, because you won't have been everywhere. Some of you are 7-continent people. You know, you've already been to the 7 different continents out there. But not everybody has. So anything else that kind of strikes you is like, why would I work with you? What is it about you that?
I like making memories.
Okay, yeah.
That's my.
Okay, so maybe it's your own little, you know, here's what I'm all about. You know, my goal in life is to help create extraordinary memories. Yeah, Amanda.
I help my clients maximize their most valuable
non-renewable asset. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Maximizing that non-renewable asset, time. Your valuable time.
Can't return that vacation.
Right. Yeah. So there's a whole variety of things. So you've got a page in your workbook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That.
Why should I work with you? There's a top
Heather's
and a
already
bottom
working on
first
there.
draft. So
yeah, you
we
gotta
want
go
you
for it.
to do this on your own. 5 minutes to get your first draft of Why Should I Work with You.
And just let it flow. Don't worry about editing or anything at all with yourself. Just let it flow. Why would I work with you? Just imagine you're having that conversation. Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
You might even look back at, you did some homework, page 26 of your homework, I think it is, about what value do I bring as a new advisor. You maybe had some ideas a few weeks ago that you might want to incorporate. Okay. What if we have them break into groups of 3? And they can each say it and give each other feedback, and that be it.
I don't see it makes a difference on that.
Well,
I don't think it's going to save any time.
as opposed to going around to a table of 6?
Well, I'd say we just let them say 3 share. Yeah, I mean,
everyone needs to be able to say theirs to somebody, but they can do it in 2s.
yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Okay, so what we'd like you to do is pair up, and over here there'll be 3 of you since we have one odd number on this. So just turn to a partner, and you're going to share your why should I work with you. Yep, just turn around. You might need to go to a table behind you. Yep, there you go. So one of you can rotate. Yeah.
Yeah, Susie?
Yeah, Susie, if you want to turn over here. There you go. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, you 3, you can do that. Okay, perfect. And provide feedback. If you hear it, provide feedback on maybe some ways to craft it a little differently. Okay?
Great, great, good.
My personal fast travel experiences, the virtuoso.
I was taking my notes here before I wrote my stuff.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to downgrade you. It's okay. You don't have. It's okay. She did it wrong. Oh.
Yeah.
And you know what? I got a text today when I checked during lunch about somebody who's
you know, I know everybody new to work with me, and I said I'm going to set up a call, and this is exactly what I'm going to use. Why? Other than knowing why she
Right.
wants to use me.
Right,
This
yeah.
is so helpful.
Yeah, good, good, good.
But I don't think yours is fucking
Yeah.
But the only,
But yeah,
I have
so-
to be honest, the reason mine is specific is because I was wrong and wrote all the notes in here, so I was able to use my notes.
Good, good, yeah.
So I
So,
kinda
and I
screwed
think,
up.
I think a couple of things that you included, and I love the way that you presented it too. But I have personal travel experiences since I was young, and now I'm sharing those experiences with, which is a wonderful way of, you know, I'm new, but I've spent a lifetime traveling. So I'm here throughout the whole process. Okay, process. My goal is to do this. And then you talk about what some of those things are. And
I like this part because I like the way you guys changed it to perks and privileges.
the perks and privileges that give you the VI treatment that you deserve. Exactly. And then you also reference not only Virtuoso, but Valerie Wilson.
It's got such a big
It's a big
name.
deal.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah. So you might want to incorporate a couple things that are a little more specific, because there's a lot of great specific things that you know. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
and
have you
start-
both shared?
Yeah, no, yours is great. If there's anything that you want to shift and
Has
change,
everybody
you can.
shared?
No, I think it's
Okay.
terrific. Yeah.
You're just talking. Okay.
We got three. All right.
I work for a host agency. I work for an agency.
Right.
So I don't understand some people work for host agencies.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Well, Valerie Wilson is also a host agency. They have some ICs.
So I'm an IC.
Okay, so Valerie Wilson is your host agency.
But we're brick and mortar and we're a
Right,
big company.
right. But you work independent of them, right?
Are some people here from like agencies that are not like brick and mortar big?
Most of them are brick and mortar companies. Yeah, but they operate as a host agency.
That's it. Like,
Right. So they may not have anyone inside on a staff other than support staff for their ICs. Some are like that. But most of them are some kind of combination like what you guys are. Oh yes, there are agencies as bigger and larger than Valerie Wilson. Travel Experts is bigger than Valerie Wilson, I believe. Valerie Wilson's big, don't get me wrong. Pro Travel is bigger than Valerie Wilson, I believe. Yeah, they do have those, but they have, it's a very heavy emphasis on ICs. You're small, you're still, I mean, again, you're a big organization. No, that's not the predominant part of your business, I don't believe. Right. I'd have to stop and look, and some of them I don't know. Right. I don't know, I'd have to stop and kind of look, but yeah, lots of different things. Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Have you both shared? So do a rewrite.
And I'm
Yeah,
really
do a rewrite.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're fine with it, but do a redraft. Okay, when you're
Great,
done
I love
sharing,
it.
do a redraft. Yeah. So,
Well, it is. That's why practice is so important with it. Yeah.
so do a redraft.
Oh, do another one?
Yeah.
And I had this situation, I was staying the night and change any, like, would you?
You don't have to change. If you're happy with how you said that, then you're fine.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Because mine brought up something, is it inappropriate to mention anything if somebody says, you know, why should I work with you? To allude to the fact that there are fees or a fee for working?
Hello. Not at that point in time. I don't think.
We don't
Yeah.
have to.
You're not. Yeah, because right now you're just trying to basically communicate your value.
Okay.
Right? That's
Okay.
all we're trying to do is say, here's what I bring to the table that you may not be able to get on your own, is basically what you're saying. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Right.
Right.
Especially at such
Okay.
an early.
Okay, so have you done shared?
And one of the things
Okay, do a
is,
redraft.
Although
Take some,
you know, you're asked
yep,
to
whatever
kind of
the
script
critique
this
is.
a little bit, it really is about
And now you
finding
have the
some-
entire thing
here's a
to
bullet
write on.
point, here's a bullet point, here's a bullet point, and I really want to make sure
Thank you.
that I always
This
that
is,
filtering through
it's,
all
it,
the overload of data. Bullet
this
points.
is
Everybody can
one of
relate
the
to that,
things that
you know.
that is critical when you leave here, that you understand
so
your
that you-
value and how to share
You know,
it.
and you
So,
start, you
yeah, that's
start listening to people. I mean, you know, it's kind of the elevator speech, you know, whatever kind of thing. But you
yeah,
really do
absolutely.
have to have, like,
it is
what are
huge.
the 3
We
or 4
we probably
key
had a
things
good
that you want
dozen or more
somebody to
people that have
understand
left the class
in
and
a
literally
language that they can
been on the
understand.
train or been on the
And then they
airplane
can
and
go, "Oh, well, tell me
literally
more." Well, that sounds
said,
interesting.
here's
Tell me a little bit more
why
about
I
that.
do what I do,
how
and
does
we
a-
had
how
one
does a travel
person
advisor
write a
actually, you know,
$75,000
what's the
trip
difference between you and a travel
from a person that they met.
On an airplane?
Well, it led to a $75,000 sale. Just by being able to say,
okay, there you
here's
go.
why you should work with me.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah,
a
it's huge.
bullet point. You know.
Okay,
that
so if you haven't
distinguishes you.
redrafted it, go ahead and do a redraft.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Good. Yeah.
You guys go ahead and do a redraft.
Hey, it's such a good question. And it really depends.
What type of traveler you are.
Right.
Nobody's messed with the gummy guys yet, huh?
Yeah, they're treating me in a weird kind
I don't like them either, but I don't. Yeah. I like Gumby.
I think that I've got it in mind, but I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like it. I like it. You know, a word that I'm always afraid of is perfect.
Oh, really?
Because
Nothing can ever be perfect.
nothing's ever perfect. And that sort of,
My perfectionist coming out.
perfect is I mean, it's a little
We're doing a
tricky,
redraft.
you know?
So if you haven't
Beautifully
redrafted
planned,
it, you rewrite
know,
it, get it a little honed in a bit more.
exquisitely planned, you know, whatever. A word that works for you, but just be a little thoughtful about perfect. Yeah.
Thoughtfully planned, maybe.
Thoughtfully planned.
Because beautifully can be too feminine sometimes when you're
Right.
talking to a man.
Sure. Yeah. Good. – 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. Yeah. Back in the dark ages, yes. I started as a school teacher, and I taught I taught in Australia, I taught in Europe, and just kind of made that my passport for about 5 years. Came back, decided I need to do something that fulfills me on a different kind of level, and eventually I hadn't really thought about being in the travel business. I didn't know what it was, but then eventually kind of I think maybe I should be in the travel business. So I started researching it, and lo and behold, here
About
I am.
another minute or so on your redraft.
Yeah. Yeah, to begin with. I worked in Atlanta with a company that was of the ilk of like a Valerie Wilson in Atlanta. They're no longer around. The owner has passed away and so on. But I was with them. I was with them for I want to say like 6, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. Yeah. Good.
One per table?
Yeah.
Say anything. And so total silence.
Yeah, great idea.
So when she said, I work in a morgue,
Scott, people are still working.
We good? Obviously, this is a kind of a variation on an elevator speech, right? And where you're kind of scripting it out, which is what we've asked you to do here. In the end, what you're doing in that scripting is trying to find those 2 or 3 or 4 really significant bullet points that when it comes time to have that conversation at a cocktail party or sitting on the airplane or meeting somebody, at the gym, that you're able to here are the 3 or 4 things that I really want to make sure that I get across, okay? And in language that you start getting comfortable with, which is why the practice of it. I know we were talking over here, it's like, oh, the first time I had to say that, I was so nervous. Yeah, and we are, this is a very personal thing that you're doing. So it does take practice. It does take practice. It takes not only the practice in the real world, but practice in front of a mirror. Practice with your dogs. Who's got the 10 dogs? Okay. Give your little dissertation to each one of those little dogs. And they're completely unbiased. So just go yep, 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 yep. Yeah, exactly. So let's hear from a couple people. Who's got something that we should hear? Who's anybody got a recommendation? Cindy?
I don't know if you should hear it, but
Yeah.
I would like the feedback on it.
Okay, so let's hear from Cindy.
It comes down to time and resources. My clients are successful, busy people who truly value their time and money. With my team of experts, we filter through the plethora of options. Seriously, you can't trust the internet photos, reviews, and paid bloggers any longer. So we filter through to make sure everything is tailored specific to the clients, all details are managed, and guests receive the top VIP treatment everywhere they go. When they spend time and money, they want to know without a doubt that they will have an amazing experience, and that is the expertise I provide to them. That sounds very long.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Right, exactly. Filtering through all of that information that's out there. And actually speaking to it in almost that third person of my clients, time and money are of the essence, or whatever you said there at the very beginning. So you've got a couple of really key things, and providing that that level of service that people like this, like my clients, expect, when they travel. So those are 3 really great points, getting through all that information, the VIP, my clients' time and money is of the essence. Love it, love it. Yeah, okay.
I want to get back to, because I tend to be a bit of a whimsical writer. So I really want to hit those bullet points. Okay. As a world traveler to all 7 continents, I understand the importance of curating a travel experience that is meaningful. I'm here to help you create and have unforgettable journeys in every part of the world. And I do this by 1, saving you time by researching for you and cutting through all the noise. Number 2, my affiliation with Virtuoso and Travel Edge allows me access best partners in the world, which offers you great value. And number 3, I'm your biggest cheerleader, always rooting for you, and you'll have a travel professional in me, always looking out for you during your trips.
Great. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And even your format of like, let me give you 3 reasons. 1, 2, 3. That are right on the nose and very much in your own language. You know, I'm your biggest cheerleader. Is she a cheerleader? Yeah, she's a cheerleader out there. Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, and speaking to what was your number 1?
Number 1, saving you time.
Time.
Research for you.
Yep.
Through all the noise.
2.
My affiliation with Virtuoso Travel Edge allows me access to the very best partners.
I'm telling you, that's a big one right there. Yep.
And number 3, basically saying that I'm with you every step of the way.
Right. Absolutely. And on top of that, giving credibility to herself. I'm a 7-continent traveler myself. Yeah. I've been around the block. I know what's going on. Yeah. So great. Very good. We have to move on. Okay. Yeah.
So, I mean, I went to one of the professional development events at Virtuoso Travel Week, and the whole line of like, I'm a travel advisor, right? People say agent, they think they know what that is. So the speaker there kind of changed that to, what do you do? I hope people experience the world. So
Pardon me?
I hope people experience the world. Like,
Love
I
it.
don't say I'm a travel advisor. Again, coming from teaching, like people think they know exactly what teachers do.
Right.
And they have no idea. So same thing with that. So
Right.
that was, again, like from that speaker, some
Mhm.
language of just tweaking that introduction line.
Yep. I love it.
That I've really enjoyed and have had to practice as well, because you want to
Good.
just say exactly like, this is what I do.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, they love
I help people experience the world, and then you go on from
There's
there.
a question of like, oh,
What?
What is that? Right? Like that starts the conversation, and then they want to know more instead of, oh, I know what that is.
Yes, wonderful. Yeah. I design and create memorable experiences for people. Really? Well, what do you mean by that? Well, let me tell you. Let me count the ways. Yeah. So all of these things, you know, I'll guarantee you that inside the next 10 days, you will be faced with actually having this conversation. You know, somewhere along the line, when you're leaving Fort Lauderdale on Friday, it could be. But having that, and like you say, Brianna, you've had to have that conversation since August. And now you've got a little bit of language that you can begin to keep kind of crafting it, putting it down into what do I really want. Read each other's. You know, you like some of the things that other people, you know, how it is that they express themselves, ask to read theirs. Okay? So take advantage of each other's. You know, look at it tomorrow morning or something like that, okay? So there's one other thing that we'd like to do yet this afternoon, and that has to do with your language. And that is about this process.
Right.
Remember, you know, we talked long and hard about the process this morning, which is why we're like, oh my God, we're running out of time here today. But how is it that you're actually going to speak to this process? So now they've gotten beyond the like, oh, okay, I get it what you do. And then you've gotten into a little bit more detail. That sort of shift into the collaborate. Let me tell you how it is that I work with my clients. So how is it that you might explain? You saw some examples of how people actually talk about the process. It doesn't have to be in the 1, 2, 3 order. But what's some language that you might put around that?
So you have another handout in your binder,
Yep.
and it's explaining the process. So same thing, just take 5 minutes, craft out your first draft.
Can you put one of those examples up? Because they did it perfectly.
Yeah. What I showed you at lunchtime. Yeah.
I got it too, but I might be
Right. Yeah. Right. So you remember, for those of you who came by at lunchtime to look at different kinds of fees, and I showed you how different people have kind of personalized that. One person talked about it as a piece of art. a blank canvas, and we map out these points along the way. Somebody else talked about it as, kind of renamed some of those things, or talked about it a little more casually. We'll start off with, it starts with a conversation. Somebody used that. And then we go to this and we go to that. But a way of actually saying this without a discover, collaborate, design, reverse, you don't want to say that. But how might you explain that you actually have a unique way of working with your clients that lives in, a different kind of world out there? So how might you describe that? So think about it from your point of view. You as your organization. How might that look? And again, this is just a draft. This is just a first shot at this.
Okay, let's share like we did before, just with that same partner, and go ahead and do a little critiquing as you share.
start by listening to my clients' wants and needs on what's important to them on their vacation. I then work with the client to create the perfect itinerary to make a vacation that gives them memories to last a lifetime. I stay in touch with the vendors to watch for promos or deals that are applicable and apply them without any help on their part. Then I wrote about the itinerary customized to the client, available every step of the way with questions. Help them answer their questions. Of course, I could still...
You can still go on here. Right. Yeah. And what did you have, Nora?
Well, I was telling her it's different because we do everything really differently.
Yeah.
But what we do is we have a discovery call
Right.
with clients. We've already sort of gotten the bare bones of what they're looking for, but this
Right.
is a discovery call to go over what we do here. So we start by saying who we are as an agency and why we're different, such as full-time staff, all college-educated, first-hand trips, and then we talk about what we sell, which is only Virtuoso or places that we have direct knowledge and relationships with. And then we briefly go over, we then do a follow-up call that's longer. And we discuss with them that we will, go over their specific desires and needs, and then we'll consult with our Virtuoso partners for their recommendations. So we kind of combine it into a whole here's our process.
Right. And theirs is I've seen what you guys send out, and what it is that you go through. And it is, your business is a little bit different, it's a little bit different. But the same thing really applies. It's like we have a way that we work with our clients, and here's some of the things that you can count on us. We work as a team. We're a well-educated group of people. We've traveled all over the world. We know our trains inside out and backwards. We specialize in not only that, but the types of things that Virtuoso, with whom we're affiliated. That's how we operate. And then you've got some very specific things about how you specifically do things. So you have your own process that you guys have developed around this, yeah. But it really is the same. It really is the same thing with a little bit different twist on it. So it is about, let me tell you how I work. I start by making sure that I listen really carefully to my clients. To my clients, what it is that what's important to them on their vacations, what's important to you on your vacations. And then we work to create a great itinerary. I'm always leery of the word perfect, because perfect is a hard thing to live up to. Yeah. So work to create extraordinary itinerary, maybe whatever makes sense to you. Or to create an extraordinary vacation. Itinerary is also sometimes a word that we use a lot, but maybe clients don't use a lot. Okay? Yeah. A vacation that, that creates lifetime memories, And while you're away, I stay in touch. I'm in touch with all these extraordinary people all over the world. I mean, you said all of that. So I think when you start bullet pointing it out and go, without getting into too much detail. Yeah, because it's.
Well, and I kind of feel like the way that my sort of business works is that I kind of have a spiel that I give my Disney clients, because that's such a.
That's one thing.
Yeah, but then my clients that I do, for just regular sort of other travel.
Right.
They don't worry about when they have to make their fast passes and what
Right, because those are all quite specific to Disney.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
Like it's sort of,
Right. Yeah.
So I kind of feel like I have almost like two different things that I kind of spiel about.
But the truth is, you're always keeping an eye out for what might be the best opportunities for my clients.
Right.
I make sure that when they leave, it's always customized to the individual.
Right, because I think that's a big piece, is that they don't just want some cookie cutter thing.
Exactly.
Because then it's like, well, why do I need you? I could just do this on my own.
Right.
I want it to be what I want, what, you know.
And that might even be a word that you would use. You know, I don't do cookie cutter.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Everything that I do for my clients is customized to them.
Yeah.
You know. So use your own language too. Yeah. Yeah. So and then you can kind of touch on these things, but in a really kind of a broad way. I got people all over the planet that I keep track of. You know. And I don't do cookie cutter, which is why I've got all these incredible people all over the world that I'm always in touch with, know what the coolest, neatest, newest things are. You know, yeah. Yeah, do a rewrite. Maybe even try doing a rewrite with bullet points instead of, yeah. Feel free to use bullet points.
This is not my exercise.
Well, and that's probably the way.
Yeah, this is not your thing.
This is not my thing. Spot writing, no way.
I know. Well, first off, people aren't used to writing. You all end up with cramps in your hands. Yeah, yeah.
I'm a long writer too.
Are you? Me too. Yeah.
I don't do the I need it. That is like, should I tell you to No, I think it's good. I think it's pointing out to me that I don't do that. I'm more of a transactional in the beginning, and I'll just do as I go on. But if you want to make that person connection, it's okay.
So when I do a lot of the interviewing that I do, I try to interview for my business school for Northwestern, and I see so many people that if they don't make a personal connection, I can go through papers, and everyone's gonna have a certain criteria. Like it's like you all have great grades, you all have great, you know what I mean? So I also have to have something I take away when I go to bed at night that makes that person stand out. And it might not be like that they were a belly dancer, but if there's something in the beginning pitch, the memory of it is a very positive halo. So I try. That's why I think I go there faster, and then I get into the I want to connect, and then I want to slide through the door. I mean, that's also my style.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's hanging himself is what he's doing.
So give yourself a chance. Give yourself a couple minutes to do a little rewrite if you want to.
It just won't
Okay.
stop.
Okay.
Okay, let's tie a bow around this.
Yeah. Okay, these are hard things.
Yeah.
These are hard things. And it sounds to me like you've gotten some pretty good feedback from each other. Good. Bridget over here is kind of going, oh, this is like so not my thing. Yeah. She might be. Exactly. Well, it is hard to just kind of whip this thing out. But it does make you stop and think, and makes you stop to think that I do need to actually get this kind of down, right? Yeah, so I do need to stop and think about this. We did have a great speaker at Virtuoso Week. What was his name, Jennifer? Who spoke about, was it Clay? Yeah, the perfect intro. Yeah. Yes, it is. It's on the Virtuoso Travel Academy. Yeah.
If you
the perfect intro, and just type that into the search engine.
Yeah. Or there is a category on Virtuoso Travel Week, and all of them are listed under that specific category.
Right.
Well, is it by year though? It's probably by year.
No, you'll see it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The perfect intro. And does kind of speak to, and I heard Stephanie talking over here, because you've interviewed hundreds and thousands probably of people at Northwestern, and there's something that has to show up kind of memorable there at the very beginning, something that catches people's attention. You know, I'm a 7-continent traveler. I'm a, what? I married a French guy. Yeah. Whatever it is, because what you probably won't do is, oh, well, I'm a travel agent, you know, you definitely won't do that, you know, or I'm a travel advisor. It's like, what does that even mean? And certainly when it comes to talking about this process, this has to be something really, really kind of organic. You know, it has to be your own language. It has to be, what was it that you said, Angela, that, yeah, that sort of I'm your biggest cheerleader kind of thing on the last exercise. But to really talk about it in the language that makes sense for you. You know, I love to get to know the people that I'm going to be working with. So I spend a good amount of time we just talk, you know. And then I get into the details. I got people planted all over the planet that I can call on to give me access and make things available. And I've got this huge network. However it is that you kind of talk your way through that. I'm with you all the way. I got your back when you're traveling. When you get back, I want to hear about it. You've talked about the whole process there. Now, and again, Jay's going to show you another example of how you can showcase that a little more formally when he takes you through some things on Thursday. I think it's Thursday, isn't it? That you can do it, or is it tomorrow?
What?
Thursday. Kate's website.
We'll do that on Thursday.
On Thursday, right. So you can, because it is, the truth is, this is what you're selling. You know, it isn't the Overwater Bungalow. The Overwater Bungalow is just a part of it. It is this full relationship out there. So this is just a taste. You just dipped your toe in the water a little bit this afternoon with trying to start crafting some language around that. And I want to make sure that you understand that the whole idea of mastery, which is what we're all striving for, is a long, long, long process. And it's made up of practice. This is from a great little book by a guy by the name of George Leonard called Mastery. And he talks about the road to mastery is paved with practice. So it's practice, 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 breakthrough. You know, this afternoon you had a couple little breakthroughs with some new language and some new ways of doing things. And then, you know, and then that takes practice at another level, but you're never back down here. Now you're practicing at a higher level, and a higher level, and a higher level, and a higher level. So it isn't just one straight upward slope. You know, it just doesn't work that way. It is a gradual process that over the years you'll become more and more masterful at actually speaking to the value that you bring to the equation, the value that your process brings to the equation, and so on. Today we talked about front and backstage of this collaborative travel planning process. And you've started identifying some things that, oh my God, I better get this together, or I'm not going to be in very good shape when it comes time to actually ask these questions of my clients, you know, or reach out to my, reach out to my providers. You know, that the whole design phase is filled with going to meetings and meeting people and collecting cards and creating relationships, all of that. Distinguishing that product from the product that is you and is your process out there. We've had a chance to begin to articulate our value proposition and also to identify what some of these things are that we're going to need to have some more practice around. So it's been a very, very big day. It's been a very big day. Yeah, Steph.
Question, because so many of you had so many beautiful ways of displaying, you know, and presenting your itineraries or your information.
Yeah. Okay.
A, will there be an opportunity for us to get more into that? I know that we talked about marketing, but I don't know about how, you know, other than access, but are we going to be able to discuss that? And just as a group, how
This group discusses everything. Even if we don't want to discuss it, we discuss it. No, you guys are, you're like, you want to get to it. Yeah, you want to get the answers, which is great. What I would ask you to do is trust that we will actually get there. You know, maybe it isn't at the same moment that you're asking for it, but we will actually get there.
On our agenda, because so many of them were so
Yeah, yeah. Now, we don't have a display board, you know, we don't have like everybody's things up there, but ask to see somebody else's stuff. You know, so if you want to read some different, you know, ideas about how somebody talked about their process or talked about it, I'm going to leave that to you guys, you know, to actually do. We won't have a lot of time to go through everybody's. But let's talk about, you know, for you today, what were your key takeaways?
I feel much more comfortable answering the question of why would I hire Greg.
Ah, okay. So your own.
I looked at my self-assessment, it was a 2, and it's now moved to a 4, which I
Good.
think is a huge step.
Yeah, yeah. And some of that is just sort of stopping to think about it.
Hold on. Did you go ahead and do your self-assessment?
Oh, she worked ahead.
I'm so excited with how much you taught me today. I wanted to see it on my
Good girl.
Sorry, not buying
Yeah.
it.
Amanda?
One of the big ones is call preparation.
Uh-huh.
Really enjoyed listening to Amanda's call and have on my to-do list, you know, do that outline. So, because I get, you know, you go down a rabbit hole and you can't get back, and that was super
Right.
valuable.
Right. Because one of the things that you guys have talked about, almost everybody talked about in one of the values that you bring, is that you save your clients time and money. And time and money is also in this process. Okay? It isn't just the time and money of the vacation itself, but it's being efficient in our conversations with our clients so that those rabbit holes, you know, they can be kind of irritating to a client, you know? You're setting aside a half hour, you're setting aside 20 minutes or 15 minutes. You better be honoring that time, or we're dishonoring our clients. So that's a very important, this call preparation. What else for somebody? Yeah, Susie.
I'm never going to tell anyone I'm a travel agent again.
Okay. Travel agent.
Being honest.
Yeah. Right.
That's what, say it again?
You are professional travel advisors.
What did you say?
What is it?
Yeah. Yes.
I realize
How people experience the world.
Yeah.
I like that too. I learned today that there are a lot of habits that I created for myself that I want to unlearn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So.
There's a lot of them. Some with the fees, some with how I describe what I do, call preparation, all of it.
Right. Danny and I have been working. We are teaching a course together on called the Art of Reinvention, and one of the ways of identifying why we're not getting the results that we want are looking at the habits that get us to those results that we don't want. And some of it might be about how I'm positioning myself with my fees, you know, or how I'm having a conversation with a client, and realizing I've fallen into a couple of bad habits here. And so undoing those, shifting those habits in the answer to, well, the bad habit is this, and then you go, well, if I shift it over here, I get a different result. Remember that mental model? Yeah, same thing. If I want to change my results, I need to change my habits, you know, along those lines. Yeah, love it. What else? Yeah, Shonda.
For me, my big takeaway was how to kind of segue any conversation, wherever it is, into let's have a talk or let's have a chat about, you know, and get right into my process.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So how do you spell segue? S-E. Okay. Segue. You know, segue these. That's what you're. Yeah. Segue. Yeah. Right. So yeah.
Then feeling, having a process that I'm confident in.
Yes.
So once you do invite that person in, you're not panicking. It's like, okay, well, what do I do now?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you, I've come to understand that inside this process is everything that you need to know about being a professional travel advisor. Everything's there. Relationships with your customers, relationships with your partners out there, learning about destinations, you know, positioning your fees, you know, the value that you bring, how you know, debriefing people, finding out what's happening next. It's all there. It's all there. And you're just there orchestrating it all. So being confident that you have a process that if you follow it, it will get you the results that you want. Yeah. And you'll keep tweaking it, and you'll keep playing with it. Yeah, absolutely. Anything else? Yeah, Summer.
It was really neat, the exercise between the front of the house and the back of the house.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I've been one-sided and I'm only taking things from my perspective and what I have to do. And it was really great to take it from the client's perspective and how we want them to feel, what we want, kind of the things we want them to have.
Right.
And the things that we have to do to make that happen.
Right. Yeah, we always have to be looking at the client perspective. Absolutely. What is it that we're looking like a great hostess, like a great host? You know, it's like how do I want my guests to feel? You know, at this dinner party. You know, how do I want them to feel as they come to this, you know, gala that I'm in charge of? How do you want them to feel? And what do you want them to experience? And it's the same thing. So if we want them to experience confidence, you know, then we have to make sure that we've got the skills and the methods behind the scenes to help them feel confident in what we're doing. So that's a great distinction. Yeah. Good. Okay. I'm looking at some brain-dead people out here. Good. Okay. So we know that Cindy has jumped ahead and done her assessment already. But do that, and in the meantime, Jay is going to hand out the...
I am not going to do that.
You're not going to give them the quiz
we're going to
today.
do the quiz tomorrow morning. I'm not doing the quiz this afternoon. We're done. So I'm done. You're done. We're done.
All right.
So
Yay.
we'll do that tomorrow morning. So, but you do have an assignment tonight. It's nothing big. However, tomorrow's about marketing and branding. So I want you to think a little bit on a brand, whether it's local or national, that you respect. And what is it about that brand that you resonate with, and why do you respect that brand?
Right. Okay.
Okay. National or local brand that you respect or you resonate, and why is that?
Right.
And we're going to talk about that
Could be one that only you
tomorrow.
know about. It could be one that's a big national
Could
brand.
any brand, anything local or national, okay?
These are all brands.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
different brands. Something that means something that, you know, that you resonate with, okay?
Okay.
All right.
And then one final piece, and that's what's happening this evening. Okay, so we're going to be with our wonderful hosts, Regent Seven Seas. They have a reception and dinner for us. Adriana Vargas, who's the manager of National Accounts and Business Development, is going to be there. A very important person for you to know. Put your business
Do
cards.
not forget your name badges tonight,
Right.
okay? Must have those.
Must have. Handy place to put your business cards is right back here.
Okay.
Okay. Little tip. All right.
Yeah.
We're dining at Belline Kitchen. We're going to meet there at 6 o'clock, but we're going to meet in the lobby at 5:45. Now, tell me where this is.